Well, I know this sounds crazy. This might sound crazy to y'all. But what if this is really gangster? Like, why does no one ever consider that might be the case?
I don't know how many gangsters are that rich.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many gangsters lost $50 million doing non-gangster.
Yeah.
There's nothing gangster about holding your gun like this at the strip club. Like, so
Gilbert Arenas reacts to the Ja Morant backlash. Check out what he had to say, and then I'll come back with my comments.
Obviously, anytime the job situation comes up, Gil, people talk about yourself. Everybody who has Google probably knows
Ja's
why.
a real
But any
gangster.
concern that Ja hasn't learned his lesson yet?
He hasn't.
I mean, he's learned his lesson. He ain't been caught on film holding.
Well, he learned that lesson. You know better than that.
He's learned
That is
his
a
lesson.
positive. That is a positive of the situation.
What was they investigating?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, did they not know the size of the gun? It looked big.
Yeah.
Like, who was pointing at? I mean, we can see. You know,
That's how it is in
probably
NBA,
double
bro.
barrel shotgun. If you ask me.
But how do you feel like if you Ja? Like, ain't you tired of it? Don't make you want to get up for basketball sometimes?
Well, I know this sounds crazy. This might sound crazy to y'all. But what if this is really gangster? Like, why does no one ever consider that might be the case? What if?
I don't know if Ja's a real gangster or not, but he wants to play one on TV. Let's be real. He's influenced by the music, influenced by the culture, probably what he grew up around, but you can grow up around something, but you ain't got to be that type of person. So he's just young, ignorant, a little bit of influence. And at the end of the day, if you're Ja Morant, you're a basketball player. You're on the court. So, yeah, you may like that lifestyle, but you know that people are looking at you. The NBA, they got all eyes on Ja. So, yeah, other players may be able to do those gestures, but you can't get away with it just because of the multiple videos with the weapon. And you know how the NBA is. If Stern was still around, Ja Morant probably would have been suspended for a whole season by now. But by Adam Silver being that type of players commissioner, people feel as though they can walk all over him. And then when he tries to implement rules, that's when he faces backlash. So Ja Morant, man, smarten up. Got a lot of money on the line, and you don't need to trick yourself out of your own position.
What if he can't stop?
He's addicted to the game.
Yeah, what if he can't stop?
I don't know. I don't know how many gangsters are that rich.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many gangsters lost $50 million doing non-gangster.
Yeah.
There's nothing gangster about holding your gun like this at the strip club. Like, so,
The noisy cricket.
you know, there's a time and place, and I don't really.
I be catching that little slick. He
little
doing
slick
Josiah.
shit, right? He do. I promise.
All the time he's sneaking in.
I just try to sneak stuff.
No, but I mean, it's just there's just certain things you can't do if your job. Same thing, you know, with me. There's just certain gestures you just can't do.
And that's what I'm saying. You would think by now, after multiple suspensions, all the backlash, he could have lost his Nike deal. Don't know if he lost other deals with Powerade, but a lot of his sponsors, a lot of those brand deals, they were kind of scratching their head like, do we want to continue this partnership? So yeah, things may be good now if you're Ja, you're making all this money, but eventually you're going to retire. You can't be in the NBA forever. Don't know how you're spending your money, but there's no need to ruin that money if you're Ja Morant. You're ruining your image for no reason. Yeah, you can be about a certain lifestyle or maybe infatuated, but you don't got to live it out on the court. While you're on the court for those 2-3 hours, play it cool. You know you can't get away with certain things, so he's just being extra with the league, seeing what he can get away with, being defiant, and it's coming back to bite him.
Yeah. You can't have it in the locker room either. What you gotta do.
Throwing shots.
Touche.
Yeah. What you gotta do. I think some things are not as bad as others. I really feel like he can't stop. I really feel like it's his default setting. To like, he don't even know how to point. He don't know how to point with one finger. I think it's just his default setting. For real. I think we might need to embrace that he can't stop. Like, he got a problem for real. He got a problem for real.
No, he's just young and defiant, stuck in his ways. I don't think he has a problem being gangster. I just think that's what he likes to do. He's trying to, show up the league. I can do this. You can't stop me. You can fine me $75K, $100K. That's cool. He'll make that back in like 5 minutes on the NBA court. The only thing you could do to Ja Morant is suspend him again. Playoffs are coming up. The end of the season, he got a couple games left. You can't afford a suspension. they're fighting to at least get a top 6 seed, try to get out that playing situation. So if you're Ja Morant, don't mess your team up by doing those gestures and maybe getting suspended. If the league got to make a point, they'll make a point. So Ja Morant, you better chill out, bro. Learn to control yourself.
Pulling out on people hard.
Yeah, it's just, man, you know what'd be cool right now? Fingers. I think
For
that's
no
how his
reason,
brain
though.
works.
I mean, it seemed reactionary though. You got Buddy Hill doing it to him. Or maybe he was just insulted that Buddy Hill would do that.
Yeah, but you see Draymond talking to the ref. He just did this.
Yeah, I did.
That's crazy.
I thought he was talking to
He was
No,
talking to the ref.
Draymond
He's
was
trying to shoot us. Draymond.
He was telling. He had a gun, bro.
He said, you don't see him?
You already know Draymond, he's LeBron James' top shooter. So if anybody was going to snitch, it was going to be Draymond Green. Yeah, he may act crazy on the court, but off the court, you ain't hearing nothing about Draymond Green. So he can play that role on the court. And then when he's off the court, he's just a regular civilian. If you're Ja Morant, he don't know what he wants to be. By him being young and ignorant and then doing stuff on the court, again, I just feel like he's testing the league. What you going to do if I keep doing it? You just going to keep finding me? Cool. So if you're the league, Adam Silver, what you going to do? Me personally, I don't think it's that serious. But if the league is telling you, don't do it, we're looking at you, you've had previous suspensions and controversies on video, then you got to just play by the rules. You're not going to be in the league forever. So all you got to do is kind of stay on the straight and narrow for about another 10 or 15 years. And after that, you could be the most biggest gangster ever. But while you're playing in the NBA, you got to abide by the NBA rules.
Super Soaker 5000.
I know you always have loopholes at your That wasn't a gun, it was a super
I'm just
soaker.
saying, if they asked you that super question, so what was it was a Super Soaker 3000. Like, what kind of,
Yeah.
like, what was the point of calling me about this man? It's a celebration or
That's
whatever.
how
We
NBA
just
is,
gesturing around here. Same thing with the throat or same
Yeah.
thing, Stewie doing this. That sounds more, I'm going to just be honest with you. I'll be afraid of Stewart doing this right here
Yeah.
versus Ja doing this.
Because Stewart's really going to fight you.
Facts.
Yeah.
Nah, Isaiah's story about that life. And again, he got to chill out too. He not on Ja Morant level and you're not playing the best at your position. So you're expendable. They can always replace a Stewart. Find another tough guy that can control his emotions. Stewart can be out the league at any given season. But just as far as his finger pointing versus Ja Morant, and gesture, yeah, of course, I'm taking Isaiah Stewart more serious than Ja Morant because it looked like Isaiah Stewart is really about that life. He don't mind fighting. I think he's a boxer or some type of UFC fighter. I don't know what he do on the side, but I ain't messing with Stewart. Maybe if you're Ja Morant, he feel like he got something to prove. I'm a smaller, skinny dude, and I got something to prove, so I'm going to keep doing these little gestures on the court and letting people know I'm a top gangster.
And we know what this means. When we get in the back, I'm taking off, and I don't want those problems, right?
You running.
You know, I'm just saying.
But don't Mikal Bridges do it too, though?
Which one?
The three, when he hit a three, he do.
Three.
Yeah.
But it's three.
But it's still.
Ja Morant be like, I'm going to shoot you in the parking lot. That's what, like,
the beam
it's
on
what he's saying, too.
Yeah,
It's
you can't point it at that
The
step.
beam.
Yeah.
Or his team.
No, that was Buddy Hill. That was the only reason. It was like, who was that at? It was like Buddy Hill. Oh, it's just a warning.
Right.
Yeah, it's just a warning. It's Buddy Hill. I thought you did that to Curry.
I think people also aren't paying attention to, like, there was a point in this season where Memphis was at the top of the league. They were the top of the West, and there was no coverage on it. That's another thing that Ja's doing to his team that people aren't paying attention to. Oh, yeah. Like, he could have, like, halfway through the season, he should have been in some MVP talks.
Oh,
He been injured.
Not MVP.
No.
He missed a lot of games,
Not
though.
yet. He gotta. This is that year where they pretend you ain't doing nothing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And then, like, next year, they're like, oh, little Ja. And then the following year is when Ja get his name back.
Yeah, but what
Yeah, I get it. You're a comedian. You probably not, up to speed with everything. And I'll be slacking at times too. But Ja Morant missed a lot of games. I don't even think he's eligible. And he wasn't playing a lot early on either way. So, and they were still winning games. Had his moments, but at the end of the day, it really don't matter. No matter what Ja Morant does, it's always going to be all eyes on Ja. So, again, he got a lot to lose still. It could have been taken from him in his early videos, waving the weapon around, but I don't understand it, but I get it at the same time by Ja being a young dude. So, again, man, control your inner gangster. It ain't worth it, Ja.
I'm saying is if Memphis had stayed at the top, we would still only hear about him pointing
Yeah.
at people. No one even is paying attention to his performance. He's not having a bad season by any means.
It's Memphis.
Maybe. And maybe he was doing it early on, but again, good point by the comedian. Like, people weren't paying attention to the Grizzlies. And plus, he was out. So by you playing the Warriors, by you playing the Miami Heat, teams that, you know, people really care about, yeah, if you do it versus the Miami Heat or the Golden State Warriors, Steph Curry, Heat winning 6 in a row, you hit the game winner and you're just happy and you're doing it throughout the game and you're on national television, yeah, people gonna like pay attention more than when you're on your local TV. So if you're Ja Morant, all eyes are back on you, and I want to see how he's gonna roll after this. Not roll up, but you know what I mean.
No, when
gotta-
we think about Memphis' name
gotta
in the
do
last
shit like
3 or 4
that.
years is Ja and his troubles, Dylan Brooks doing what Dylan Brooks was doing.
Poking bears.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
Taylor Jenkins getting fired.
Yeah, Ja
I didn't even know that
Taylor
was coach's name.
Jenkins.
I mean, just be honest. Until you put it in the rundown, I had to look it up. I didn't even know who the coach.
Ja Morant fired Taylor Jenkins. I don't know if that's true or not. Maybe he has some influence. But at the end of the day, man, best of luck to Ja. Still a young dude, got a lot to learn, but all eyes are on Ja Morant. And I want to see how he's going to moving forward after this. Is he going to continue this in the playoffs if they make it? That's when you got a huge microscope on you. You really got everybody looking at you. So I'm going to be paying attention to the Grizzlies, seeing what's going on with Ja and if he's going to clean up his act before the playoffs.